This introductory chapter offers a broad overview of the book and presents the motivations behind it, its limitations, and its methodology. To get started, in Section 1, I describe a personal anecdote that sparked my interest in the present topic, and which I expect listeners will be able to relate to. The philosophical significance of my inquiry and the book's core claims will be elucidated shortly thereafter. In Section 2, I explain what it is for socially constructed norms to have moral normativity. In Section 3, I outline 2 desiderata that any plausible account of the moral normativity of socially constructed norms should satisfy. In Section 4, I sketch the argument developed in Part 1 of the book and anticipate how it meets the relevant desiderata. In Section 5, I offer an overview of the arguments in Part 2 of the book concerning moral rights, political obligation, and sovereignty. In Section 6, I discuss the book's ambitions and limitations. Section 7 concludes with some reflections on methodology. 1. Why the moral force of socially constructed norms? At the age of 17, I was sent to the UK on a study holiday. I attended a language school in Bristol, together with my good friend Marta. We decided that one weekend we should make a trip to London. We chose to travel by bus. On the designated day, we reached the bus stop and stood there for a few minutes, waiting for our National Express to arrive. When the bus arrived, Marta and I immediately approached the front doors. A few seconds later, we realized that virtually everyone was looking at us disapprovingly. A couple of people even shouted a few words at us, which our then rather basic knowledge of the English language didn't allow us to understand. Still, it was clear to us that they were not words of encouragement. We looked around, trying to figure out what was going on, but we were at a loss for a few seconds until the word line or queue was mentioned, probably queue since we were in England. There was our sin. We had skipped the queue. The fact is, of course, that we had not even realized there was one. In Italy, where Marta and I come from, people do not queue at the bus stop. They gather around it in inchoate fashion. This may appear like an uncivilized custom to some, but I assure you it works. If you are having trouble imagining such behavior, think about people waiting for the train or the tube in the UK. They are dispersed along the platform. They do not queue. At any rate, once I realized that we had breached a local norm, I felt rather embarrassed, almost guilty. I knew I had not violated some fundamental moral requirement. Let's face it, thou shalt not skip the queue is not among the 10 Commandments. But I did feel like I had done something mildly wrong, for which an apology was in order. I had, unintentionally to be sure, breached a harmless local norm, and that didn't seem right to me. Although this is my first vivid memory of finding myself in this type of situation, that is, of local norm breach, there have been countless others. I suspect that I am in good company here. For example, upon returning from trips to Germany, friends have recounted anecdotes involving faux pas with streetlights. The typical scenario features someone crossing an empty road on a red light. Yet, being the target of visible disapproval from the locals, who dutifully wait for the light to turn green. In all likelihood, I have also been guilty of this kind of misstep, only not in recent years. Being married to a German, and ironically having moved to Germany shortly before completing this book, I have become familiar with the local customs. But if I did safely cross on a red light in Germany, I know I would be at least mildly embarrassed. I would tell myself, you shouldn't have done that, and feel the need to apologize to those around me. But why? After all, crossing on a red light when there is no traffic is perfectly fine both in Italy, where I am from,